One of my favorite, most edgy verses is in Isaiah 64, verse 6. It says that our works, our good deeds are filthy rags to God. And it's not filthy shop oily rags. He's talking about menstrual rags. It's tampons. In other words, we all like to talk about the boxes we check and the T's we cross and the I's we dot. We're big on that in church culture. I don't do this anymore. I'm saved. I used to do this, and people that do. We love that stuff. We love talking about the things we do well, and honestly, we like to put in the closet the things that we suck at, because that's how self-righteousness is. It's what it does. But what Isaiah says, 64, is what you do good matters very little to God. It's nothing to him. Why? Because God doesn't want you to do anything for him. That's the wrong reasons. He wants to do a lot for you. And your life and the way you live it isn't about doing good to earn his love. I know you've been abandoned, you've been abused, you've been hurt, and we kind of change our paradigms and the way we live life when we get hurt, because we start thinking we got to prove ourselves and make up for the bad crap we've done, the damage it caused, and even if it was damage that caused us. But he says your works, the good things you do, don't matter to him. He loves you, but he doesn't want anything from you. He wants everything for you. So self-righteousness robs us of the true heart of God. That the reason we do everything we do, the good stuff, isn't for him. It's to align us to him so that we can get everything from him. We missed it. And because we missed it, we missed the motives, we missed the whole point. Your works and the good things you do in checking your boxes is tampons to Jesus. He loves you way more than that. Thank God he's better and deeper and more genuine than we are. Matthew chapter 15, Jesus says this, verse 7, he says, hypocrites. He's talking to religious people, by the way. Just keep in mind, he's talking to the church people of that day. Church people didn't like Jesus very much. Just keep that in mind. He didn't. Actually, people outside of the church love Jesus. Unfortunately, because we're, as a church, a lot of times church people aren't Christ-like. It's the opposite. Church people love us and people outside can't stand us. If we're going to do it like Jesus, we probably need to get the same haters that Jesus got. And if we don't, we may not be doing it like Jesus. So he said things like this to make hate, and he got a lot of haters because of it inside the church. He said, hypocrites. Isaiah really knew what he was talking about when he prophesied about you, and he went Old Testament on them right here. Isaiah said, and Jesus refers back to this verse, this people honors me with their lips, but their hearts are far away from me. Their worship of me is empty, since they teach instructions that are human rules. He basically says, you worship me with all your traditions, you got all your ideas that you're so overly opinionated about, and you push on young people or all people, and you think the things you're passionate about are the things to be passionate about. You change the rules, you make up new rules. He says, and you worship your traditions, you worship your perspective. That's why I'm very careful to say, well, the Bible says that, because a lot of times we overemphasize things the Bible barely speaks on, or Jesus didn't speak on, the Bible barely speaks on. Wherever you land on the spectrum of those issues, here's the thing, here's the truth of it. We worship Jesus, not our interpretation. And so what Jesus says is, you guys are so locked in your traditions, your way, your flavor, your style of rap music. I'm calling myself out because I am very biased. The older I get, that's getting more of a thing. I'm trying to stop saying it on the stage. I'm confessing that to you. At some point, I need to stop talking about all this sucky rap music. We all love our stuff. We think it's got to be this way. You got to hold your pants up. You got to pull your pants above your belly button. Or a lot of us, you're like me. You wear them and show a little crack sometimes. You don't mean to. I don't do it because I'm gangster. I do it because I got no butt. But we all got opinions, and we start just little by little, they add up. And Jesus says, you worship me with your opinions. You worship me with your politics. If you're not Republican, you're not Christian. That is wrong. And the same is true for the other side. It's wrong. Jesus did not fit in boxes. And we try to put him in boxes and frame him in boxes and say, this is the box he's in. And Jesus said, you have gotten so far from the gospel because you worship me with traditions of man Your hearts are far from me because you really aren't changing. You're just trying to lock me in this box. And it's doing damage, not just to others, but to you. So let's worship Jesus. The reason I preach the way I preach, because I feel like Jesus is all that matters. And Jesus was one of the most coolest, awesome dudes. He was contagious, except to people who were rigid and worshiped him with their traditions, aka theology, theological views, dying on the altars of things he didn't die on. And they change the rules all the time, because at the end of the day, we change the rules when we want control. So today, be a person of faith. Do it like Jesus did it. Be flexible, have grace, have mercy. Quit locking into black and white thinking because you're hurting your brother and sister and your neighbor and your coworker and the person in the cubicle beside them. Live like Jesus and lead the rest to Jesus.